Welcome to Audacity Works, a podcast inspired by and dedicated to the working artist, the creative entrepreneur, and generally, doing the damn thing. This exists on the premise that the world belongs to those who have the audacity to believe that their lives have value. This is for you. Welcome to Audacity Works. I am your host, Rachel Strickland, and this is episode number 193, and it's about some drama that has recently gone down. We're going to get into that. But first as things first, today is the day that Overcoming the Imposter, Somatic Witchcraft for Artists is going live at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're an early bird who gets this podcast in the first 6 hours that it's launched, then there's still time to get it for its introductory price of $20. By the time the workshop ends, the price goes up to $47, which is the value that I intend I intend for it to be priceless, darling, priceless. But yes, I am valuing it at $47, but I just wanted to make it super fucking cheap and accessible for those early adapters. As well, I am recording this on July 4th, and so it's the 4th of July, and people are wishing me a happy 4th, and I don't give a fuck about the 4th of July. I don't enjoy this holiday. I hate fireworks. They scare animals, and they're bad for vets who have not just animal doctors, but they're bad for veterans and anyone else who's experienced trauma, the trauma of firearms, or live combat, or even just living in a kind of rough neighborhood. Also, I got bit by a snake on this evening last year, and I am pretty much certain that it was because of the fireworks. Like, the snakes were acting weird. There were so many of them out. Like, it was not normal. And I think, like many of you, I used to, when I was a kid, I had an American flag bathing suit, I thought I looked good. And, glamour shots were all the rage in the 90s. And I got to have a glamour shot of myself, my God, like age 10, wearing this sequined American flag jacket and matching hat. If I can find it, I will put a link to it in the show notes, because it's quite classic, and I know that I have it somewhere. So just so you can see what I'm talking about, because why not? But over time, like, I don't like looking at American flags. I don't feel safe when I see a lot of them. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Of course you do. I used to enjoy the flag, and I used to enjoy the symbols of America. Like, yay, America is free. Fucking look around you. I don't feel like celebrating America. So no shade to you if you enjoy this holiday. Any holiday where you want to have fun, get together and eat food, and like not work with people that you love, I am not here to piss on that parade. You go right ahead and enjoy the hell out of yourself. Have a hot dog for me. I'll be over here gleefully ignoring the fact that it exists. Manflesh and I have talked about that too. Manflesh is a veteran. Like, he served in the Navy. He was a nuclear electrician's mate on the USS Louisiana, and has spent a lot of time around American flags. And he isn't like looking at them now either. We're like, damn, this is sad. Like, this symbol is now to us a symbol of oppression. So that's where that is. And it does lead me into the drama that I am here to discuss. And I'm discussing it because it was requested of me, and I openly asked for a request because I need to record a lot of podcast episodes before I leave for Ireland, and I was happy to get this one, and it's timely, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I know y'all are getting this after the 4th of July. It doesn't matter. So here's the drama. All right. We have all known about the Freedom 250. This is like America's 250th birthday or whatever. 250 years of freedom for white men who had money. Okay, moving on. Anyway, there's the big celebration that the White House took over, and all these artists were contracted to perform, and then because they thought they were performing at a bipartisan event to celebrate the 4th of July. And then the White House took it over. Look, I'm not a journalist, so you can look up the ebbs and flows of this, but the writing on the wall was it was not a bipartisan event. It ended up being a MAGA fest. And so a lot of those artists pulled out. Like a lot of them. And fast forward. So there is a well-established circus company called Cirque Mechanics. I'm just going to name them. Like, y'all, it wouldn't take you long to figure out who I was talking about. So I'm not going to try to be coy about it. They performed at the Great American World's Fair, State Fair. See, I don't even know the name of the damn thing. And understandably, the community, the circus community, the broader circus community, it was a mixed response, but there was a significant amount of backlash. Like, how could you simp for Trump like this? And, what are you doing? You can fill in the blanks. You can imagine the comments, or you can just go and read them. I'm not going to put a link to the Facebook post because it's not hard to find. Like, you could find it yourself, and I'm not recording this episode to shame them or any shit like that. That's not the subject. I was surprised, and I wondered what that situation looked like as it was shaking out. And after the backlash, they issued an apology to the community saying, we weren't aware. We were told it was a bipartisan event. I presume they'd been contracted for a couple of years before this point. I don't know, and I'm not going to speak for them. That's not the point of this podcast. The point of this podcast is the following. My friend wrote to me, and she said, "What do you think about all of this? On the one hand, I find it extremely icky. And on the other hand, I'm going to perform at a 4th of July. This was my friend. I'm going to go perform at a 4th of July event, like today, for money, because I need money. And I have no doubt that there's going to be MAGA people there. So how am I any better?" That is the subject of today's podcast. There seems to be some understanding within the zeitgeist that you must remove yourself from any from any event that carries a whiff of an American flag, or even a single red MAGA cap floating through the crowd. If you're there, then you're tarnished, and you should be going up to those people and yelling at them and then leaving without your paycheck. No one is actually saying, well, I don't know, maybe someone is saying these things, but this is the understanding. This is the subliminal text that we're receiving culturally. Like, in order to be seen as one of the good guys, you can have no possible association with Trumpers. Now, for me, I live in fucking South Carolina, right? This is a blood red state. If I didn't want to have any interaction with anyone who disagreed with me politically, I guess I'm never leaving my house again. For me, it is not possible to live in community with other humans and only be surrounded with people that agree with me. Would I prefer it? Sounds nice. But I want to live here. I want to live around my family. My parents are old. They're here. This is where we're going to be for the next while. And I know for a fact that I have performed at Trumpy events that I didn't know they were Trumpy events. Here's an example for you. A couple of years ago, I got hired to do my Stiltwalking monster at a fundraiser for pediatric cancer research. Sounds good, doesn't it? It was good, sure. I show up, I'm in costume, I'm walking around, I'm entertaining the guests, mooing at them, or whatever I do when I'm the stilt monster creature. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put a link to it in the show notes. And I happened to notice the drink menu by the bar. And this event, they put on quite a show. Decorations everywhere, custom cocktails, and I noticed the names of the custom cocktails. I'm like, those names have a clear pro-Trump agenda. These cocktails are not bipartisan, and no one seems to mind. Oh, they all understand. Now, how did I feel when I saw the evidence that I was likely surrounded by MAGA? I felt like this. Ugh. Did I take off my stilts, rip off my costume, yell at the organizer, and storm out of that event? No, I finished my job, I got my paycheck, and I got the fuck out of there. Did it feel icky? Yes, it felt icky. Did I give it another thought? Not until today. And I want to make something very clear. I am not defending circ mechanics, right? That's not the point. I can't speak to them or for them or say, hey, give them another chance. They didn't know. I don't know if they knew or not. And I ain't going to speculate on it. Actually, I will make a tiny tangent here. I don't know circ mechanics. I do know one artist who's part of the troupe personally, a beautiful, lovely soul. And I know that artist politics. And it is not MAGA. In fact, once I was in a show with this artist, and together we trespassed onto private property to dismantle a large Trump sign that was facing the highway, because a lot of the members of the cast were minority groups, and yeah, it was hard for us as a cast to feel safe every day because of that sign. So anyway, that is the only lived experience I have of like the human beings here, and it's not even about them. The thing that I think is important to identify here is money. Late stage capitalism, right? That is the problem. That is the problem. When we are stuck in this system, this extractive, oppressive system, and there is precious little work to go around, and you get offered a large sum of money and a very big contract, and you're a decision maker, and people depend on you to earn their own living, and at least at the beginning, you believe that it is a bipartisan event, and then you find out that it's not. What do? I know what I would like to say that I would do, but I am not, and I learned something very early on in my life. You don't fucking know until it is happening to you, and you're looking, and you're like, fuck, rent is due next week, and I need to survive, and I've got people who depend on me. That's the situation that we find ourselves in all the time. This one was just really, really visible. And something that the question my friend was putting to me was like, where is the line? Like, I've done this privately. I know I've performed for people who like celebrate Trump. And like, ugh, feels awful. Did it anyway. Because I needed the money. And she was saying, like, where's the line? Like, I needed to eat, I need to survive, but like a big company also needs to survive. So where's the line? And is there one? And she was right, which is why I told y'all that story about the stilt monster. Like, I did it too. I didn't know. And when I found out, I fucking forgot about it because it was private. No one ever knew. I didn't give it a second thought after I left. And y'all, none of this is news, right? We all know that artists work under deplorable conditions all the time because they need to fucking survive. And they can't, they can be picky, but a lot of people don't have the privilege to be picky about the kind of work that they're getting. There's something that Maestro said to me in a voice note not long ago. We were talking about, trying to live in integrity owning a business, running a business in late stage capitalism. And she shared with me a thought that she had, which is the price of morality poverty? And do you know, I know I usually summarize things and like have a lesson for you or something, but today all I have is questions. And like, I'm not trying to absolve certain mechanics, not trying to shame them. I'm here trying to point at the question. Is the price of morality poverty? And we can say, like, I don't shoplift. I don't steal. That is a very firm line for me. Like, it's been part of my morality my whole life. I don't steal. If my belly was empty and I didn't have a way to fill it, you don't know. You don't know unless it's happening to you. But that's the problem. Like, not knowing how you're going to fill your belly and having no resources to do so unless you simp for the patriarchy. I'm not saying that it's not problematic that they performed there. What I am saying is that we have bigger problems and we're not going to solve them by dividing. Now, I do think that there is one silver lining on this very shitty cloud that I did not come up with. This was my friend, and now I've gotten permission from her to name her on the podcast. It's Kim Malone. What's up, Kim? You are the best. And because we were talking about it together, and I noodled on it, and she noodled on it, and she ended up coming up with a thought that I found to be very encouraging that I want to share with you. Because the fact of the matter is, circus has a tendency to radicalize people because it gives you access to a very broad array of humanity that all loves this one thing. And by virtue of engaging with it and learning it and loving it, you come into contact with so many people of diverse economic backgrounds, all different nationalities, all different shades of black, brown, white. And her hope was that amongst the, 12 people in the audience, saw the pictures, sparsely attended. Anyway, if anyone was so inspired by seeing circus that day, that perhaps they look into it, and perhaps they take a class, and perhaps they fall in love, and are indeed exposed to this beautiful array of humanity with its differing value system than their own, perhaps. Because we have long known that the way to change someone's heart, I think that's the question, right? How do we change someone's heart? Or rather, because you can't change anyone's heart, but how can you invite someone to reconsider something that they take as a given? And it doesn't work. Shame does not work, right? It just pushes people deeper into their defenses. Or they say something that they don't mean, give an apology that they don't mean, so that they can cover their ass. Obviously, like, no one wants to be voted off the island. We need the herd. So maybe someone will have been exposed to circus, fall in love with circus, and meet a new herd. See some other ideas. Be exposed to other value systems. And that is an encouraging thought. Thanks for that, Kim. I did not arrive at that myself. That was all Kim. And that really, it gave me a bit of peace. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Let me know. So not many lessons for you today, just a bunch of questions, right? But thank you so much, Kim, for starting that conversation with me so that I could have this conversation with a microphone. If you have requests for future episodes, I would love to hear them. You can reach me on Instagram at Rachel Strickland Creative or on Patreon at Rachel Strickland Creative. This podcast is powered by Patreon, and I could not do it and would not be this creature if I didn't have the support of my patrons. So thank you so much for your trust. Thank you for standing with me. I couldn't do it without you. Until next time, my friends, don't give up. I know this shit is hard. Fight for your joy. Fight for your life. Also, fuck Donald Trump. Don't go back to sleep.